What up, guys? Madman here, and as you can see on the video, we have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, and on the docket next would be Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. And the reason we are featuring Roman Reigns is because we are going to discuss how I feel Roman Reigns should drop the Universal title. Stick around after this brief introduction to see how it's all going to go down, and I guarantee you it isn't what you think. All right, guys, so we're going to book how I feel Roman Reigns should drop the Universal title. Now, originally, I will be honest, this wasn't completely my idea. My buddy Crispy, who you've heard on the various videos with me, has kind of pitched this to me, and I sort of hated it. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what? This kind of makes sense. Here's how I think Roman Reigns should drop both the Universal and World Heavyweight Championships, and it's going to occur after Clash at the Castle. Now, as you guys are undoubtedly aware, if you're watching this video, Roman Reigns is going to face Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle in Cardiff, Wales, for the undisputed Universal World Heavyweight Championship. Initially, I thought maybe we have Drew go ahead and go over Roman in front of the crowd in Wales, and I still think that would be a good way to go. But this, to me, does fit the character of Roman Reigns and the way they've built him a little bit better. So let's break this down. Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Clash at the Castle. That's where this starts. I see Roman Reigns destroying Drew McIntyre. Now, I'm not saying squash Drew, a la Brock Lesnar, Kofi Kingston from a couple years ago, but he would win definitively. Now, I know what you're thinking. He wins the world title. How does he lose it? This is where it gets fun. The following night on Raw, I guess the following Monday on Raw, because this is on a Friday, Roman Reigns would come out at the end of the episode of Raw. They'd be hyping this whole thing up that Roman would have an announcement at the end of Raw that would shake the WWE to its very foundation. We promote this whole thing all night long. We get to the end of Raw. Out comes Roman Reigns, flanked by the Bloodline and the wise man, Paul Heyman, in tow. He gets in the ring and grabs the microphone. For 700 days, he has beaten everybody in his path. He beat Brock Lesnar multiple times. He beat Goldberg multiple times. He destroyed The Fiend and sent him packing. He's beaten Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, and last Friday, he defeated the last real threat to his World Heavyweight Championship, and that is Drew McIntyre. He spent the weekend discussing it with his wise man and believes now that it's his time to ride off into the sunset, but not because people want him to. No. Now, everyone, everything, including these two world titles, is beneath Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns genuinely now believes he is a god in pro wrestling. He has done everything there is to do, and he is going to decide to vacate the titles as there is nothing left for him to do in WWE. He'll find other avenues to conquer, kind of like his cousin The Rock did, maybe take on the movies, television industry. He doesn't need this. He doesn't need the people. He doesn't need the wrestling business. And Raw would go off the air with the titles being in the center of the ring and the camera panning up. I'm going to jump a little bit ahead. Now, that's the initial part of this video. Now, we're going to discuss how we get new champions. And I'll go more into depth into this situation in the next video. I might as well go ahead and do it. Let's discuss now how we get new champions, because now Vacant has the Universal World Heavyweight Championship, which, let's be fair, Vacant has held all of the titles in WWE at this point. So we go through Friday Night SmackDown. They talk a lot about how this all unfolded on Raw. We don't know what's going to happen, so they keep pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to figure out what's going to happen next. So the following Monday on Raw, they announce the titles have now been split once again. The Universal title will remain on Raw, while the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE Championship, will move to SmackDown. And each brand is going to hold an 8-man tournament to crown the winners of those respective titles. On the Raw side of things, we would see Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Edge, Rey Mysterio, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, The Miz, and Matt Riddle have their respective tournament for the Universal Championship. And on SmackDown, the 8-man tournament would consist of Drew McIntyre, Karrion Kross, Sheamus, Shinsuke Nakamura, Happy Corbin, Kofi Kingston, Sami Zayn, and Dolph Ziggler. The 2 champions would go on to represent their respective brands starting the night after Extreme Rules in 2022. If you've made it this far, do me a quick favor, click the like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell, because we are doing a lot more of these wrestling videos. In fact, the next one we do is going to be this tournament and how I break it down. But here's the fact. I know there are some people that may drop comments and say, oh, I don't like the way that you laid this out, but let me explain to you why I think this does work the more I thought about it. Roman has been built as the ultimate destroyer in the World Wrestling Entertainment sphere. Before him, it was Brock. Brock Lesnar ended The Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. He killed Kofi Kingston's world title reign in 15 seconds. Brock was pretty much untouchable, and Brock couldn't get the job done against him not once, but twice. Randy Orton is really the only other credible threat, and I know somebody would say Seth Rollins, and I would agree, Seth Rollins is a better worker, but story-wise, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to bring Rollins into a feud with Roman. That's just my own personal opinion. But at this point, anybody who manages to beat Roman, anybody who manages to pin Roman's shoulders to the mat, most people are going to call it a fluke. And then how do you write him off TV without giving him the rematch and then effectively giving him 2 losses in a row? So I think even though you go with the vacated option, I think it gives him a lot of coverage and keeps him protected, and it gives them the ability in this one promo to really start setting up the rumored match against The Rock at WrestleMania next year. That match does not need the world titles. He drops them in possibly the most heelish way humanly possible, and it continues to build out that tribal chief character. And then this also sets up the brands to have their own top champions once again and allow a reset as we head into the end of the summer and the rumored next WWE draft. So what I want to know is, what do you guys think? Do you guys like the idea of Roman Reigns vacating the titles, more or less dropping them, not so much in a chicken shit heel way, but just a heel way? Or would you like to see him get beaten, say by Drew at Clash of the Castle? How would you like to see the Roman Reigns title reign in? Drop those in the comments below. If you guys have an idea for a future episode of Multiverse of the Madman, do me a favor, drop those in the comments below. I welcome any and all suggestions. I do have some ideas of things that we're going to do in the future, but anything that you guys have or would like to see me book a feud for, drop those in the comments. I'd love to take some stories and put some spins on. Until next time, I still don't have a good way to end this particular show. So if you have an idea for that, drop that in the comments as well. We're going to close the book on today's Multiverse of the Madman, saying thank you guys for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos like this.